So, I'd just like to start by saying, as I've said in the last 3 or 4 videos, thank you guys very much for 100 subscribers. Now, I did say about a week ago that I'd be doing a Q&A, and that Q&A is this video. If you haven't got your comments in, sorry, I guess. You were supposed to post them in the comment section in the announcement video. I did say that in the next video, I think, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Let's get on with the questions. So, the first question is from Charlie Dorr, and he says, what are your top 3 favourite games? Now, I'm not going to rate them 1 to 3, so 1, 2, and 3, because these 3 games are sort of my favourite games, and for the most part, they're all different genres. So we've got Deus Ex, Human Revolution, being one of my personal favourite first-person shooters that are story-driven. The story in that game, if you've never played Deus Ex Human Revolution, pick it up somewhere. Like, it's not that hard to run on PC anymore. It's got a fantastic story, and if you get the director's cut, it's got 2 extra chapters that are fantastic. They bridge sort of the gap between... I'm trying to think of how to say it without spoilers, but they bridge the gap between 2 of the later chapters with about 5 or so more hours of story content, which is fantastic. Now, the second game is completely different. It's Jet Set Radio Future for the original Xbox. Again, for those of you who haven't played it, I definitely recommend you pick it up or at least watch a Let's Play of it. As odd as it's going to sound, but In the Littlewood does a fantastic Let's Play of Jet Set Radio Future. It's entertaining to watch, the game is great, its commentary is great, and it's just an all-round great experience. You can probably pick the game up pretty cheap now. It's, well, coming up to a decade and a half old. 2017 will be its 15th year anniversary. But it's got an art style that hasn't aged, and a soundtrack that beats out most soundtracks in video games today. It's got a really funky, vibrant soundtrack that, like the art style, remains timeless. The only thing I could wish for is that it ran in a higher resolution. Because at the moment it maxes out at, I think, 360p on the original Xbox, and until we get an emulator that works and performs well, we can't run it at anything higher than that. There is a 720p mod out there, but it runs like ass even on an Xbox with an upgraded processor, so it's not something you can do right now. But it still does run at lovely 60 FPS, and the story, albeit mediocre, fits the game well, and the gameplay is smooth and fantastic. I'm not really one for sports games, and if you class this as a sports game, then it's probably the only sports game that I actually enjoy playing. Now, I can't do a top games list without mentioning Halo 3. Halo 3 to me was the pinnacle of the franchise. The gameplay was great, the story was great, albeit a little short, but then again we know why, because it was supposed to be a continuation of Halo 2, in terms of like continued story in the actual Halo 2 game. But it was what really solidified multiplayer first-person shooters for me. Halo 3's multiplayer was the first multiplayer that I played day in, day out, for a year plus. I mean, I played it for probably 3 or 4 years, until sort of a few months or about a year after Halo Reach launched. I wasn't really a fan of Halo Reach, but that's a topic for another video, potentially. But Halo 3's multiplayer had me hooked. It was fun, it was engaging, it was enjoyable. It was a bit slow paced, sure, but I was a lot younger back then. And that was good on my little brain, because the fast paced shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield didn't really appeal to me until I got a little older, and I could sort of process the information going on a little more. I don't really think there's that much needed to be said about Halo 3. Most people who joined the franchise, like me in the Halo 1, Halo 2 era, will say that Halo 3 is the best game in the series. I still stand by that. Halo 3, at least in the Master Chief Collection, which runs at 60 FPS, is about as good as Halo can get, if it weren't for all the issues that the Master Chief Collection had. Right, on to the next question. Bob Plays says, how long have you been into Halo and video games in general? Well, I've already spoken a little bit about Halo with the Halo 3 comment just a minute ago, where I started in the Halo 1, Halo 2 era. I got an Xbox Christmas of 2001. Now that came with Halo 1 and Jet Set Radio Future and Sega GT 2002. For those of you who don't know, in the UK at least, Jet Set Radio Future and Sega GT 2002 came on a single disc with the Xbox. It was like 3 games that came with the console. So that was where I started 3D gaming. But a little bit before that, maybe 2 or 3 years before I got the Xbox, so we're talking 97, 98, about the time my sister was born. Everybody loves it when I mention my sister in videos. I was given an SNES by my uncle, who had got it from my dad as a birthday present back when it came out. So it had been in the family for a long time. I had a handful of games, Bomberman, well, Super Bomberman as I guess it was, Super Mario All-Stars, some random Star Wars platformer that I always sucked at, Batman games, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, A Link to the Past, and a couple of other games. And that was what really took up a lot of my time. That was when I stopped doing other things and playing video games. I found that I could have more enjoyment sat inside watching a telly and playing these games than I could going out places and doing things with other people, as odd as that sounds. I'm sure that makes me sound like some sort of recluse shut-in, but, you know, that's just the way it was. I wasn't, and I'm still not really an active person. I'm not one to, you know, go outside for the sake of going outside. I'd rather do something that I enjoy, something that I'm motivated to do, something that I want to do, rather than something that people say I should do. This caused a lot of tension between me and my parents as a child, because they were all like, oh, go play outside and whatnot. So I used to go around a friend's house with the SNES and play it there, because they didn't mind. The next question is from Human Person. What a fantastic name, by the way, and a fantastic profile picture as well. And he says, what are things you expect in Halo 6? So, something I'd like to see in Halo 6, but I'm not quite expecting, would be a return to classic gameplay. Mainly because that's the gameplay style I enjoy. It's the gameplay style a lot of people enjoy, and at least having it as an option in multiplayer and maybe even the campaign, but I doubt that, would be fantastic in terms of bringing the community together. If they could bring people who enjoy the new gameplay, people who enjoy the classic gameplay, under one roof in one game, then they've got a winner there as far as bringing back the old fans, and there are a lot of old fans. Another thing I'd like to see, as everybody talks about, is split screen. Because as much as I can see why split screen was taken out of Halo 5, I think it was unjustified. If they wanted to have split screen in the game, running at 30 FPS, there's nothing saying that they couldn't do it. It may not work very well, it may be a little janky, but then again, most of Halo 5 is pretty janky in the first place. It feels to me like Halo 5 was a bodge. They built a game, realised, oh crap, we're missing all these things, and just bodged them in where they could. But yeah, split screen in Halo 6, I'm gonna say is a must for the franchise. Another thing I'd like to see is Forge being transitioned from an object placement tool into a full-blown level editor. We've seen with Forge on the PC that the engine works on the PC and everything runs and everything's good. What we need now is a full-blown level editor. Something where we can import custom models, custom assets, custom sounds, custom objects, vehicles, whatever, and be able to make the game exactly how we want the game to be. If the game is coming to PC, which Halo 5 Forge has, they need to remove the limitations that are imposed on it because it was originally a console game. If we can have mod support, if we can have custom levels, custom weapons, custom models, custom everything, the creativity of the franchise and the creativity of the community, would go through the roof. Think of all the things people could make if they had literal engine-level access to the game. I mean, we've seen it with games like Ark, and with games like, well, just about every Source game in existence. If you have access to the engine, people can make things that are more popular than the game itself. And that's a good thing, because it brings people in to a series that may well not have been interested in the series before. Say somebody who's not interested in Halo at all, but they make an RPG game mode in the Halo engine. Those who enjoy RPGs, provided the RPG game mode mod is good, would then get Halo to try it out, or they'd at least consider getting Halo to try it out. And that brings more people into the community. They may not be the people that are the focus groups that 343 look at, but a sale is a sale at the end of the day. And that's what 343 and Microsoft are trying to do. They're trying to push Halo 5, they're trying to push Halo in general. They're trying to get it to sell Xboxes and sell copies. That's what they want at the end of the day. So why would they limit their community's creativity that could help draw more people to the series? The next question is from Interstellar Smurf. I made a video responding to him not too long ago, and he's been sort of a frequent in my comment section, so props to you, bro. And he says, do you want a Halo 3 anniversary? If so, what would you want from it? I personally don't really feel the need for a Halo 3 anniversary, because the Master Chief Collection's version of Halo 3 does everything that I'd want a Halo 3 anniversary to do. And that's give it 60 FPS with the new hardware. The only thing that I would like to see is a better working multiplayer and something that's not marred by the Master Chief Collection brand, which, if you go tell anyone, oh yeah, the Master Chief Collection, they'll go, oh yeah, I remember that game, it was really broken. So they don't play it, which means that it's got extremely small population size for a game that's absolutely fantastic. Sorry that was quite a short answer, but there's not really much for me to say on the whole Halo 3 anniversary thing, because frankly I don't feel we need it. I'd much rather have a proper Halo 3 for PC than I would a Halo 3 anniversary. Next up we have Vel, who asks, what developers or companies would you like to work with in the gaming industry? Now, when he wrote this, he then told me that I shouldn't include Bungie or 343 because those were obvious. And to be honest, I don't know how much I'd actually like to work for 343. Because, at least at the moment, 343 as a company are being tarred by a brush of poor Halo games. And I know that developers, being one myself, do not want to make a bad game. That is the last thing that they want. But at the moment it seems that 343 lack a lot of creative freedom because of Microsoft as a publisher. Right, now that's out of the way, onto the companies I'd actually like to work for. One of the main ones would be, as odd as this is going to sound, Jagex. Jagex make RuneScape. Now, I don't really talk about it a lot, I've never done any videos on it, but old school RuneScape in particular is the same to me that Halo 3 is, in terms of it's fantastically nostalgic, and now that I've gotten into it, at least with RuneScape, it's actually a really fun game. Like, the higher level stuff, when you remember, is a hell of a lot more interesting than free-to-play. I don't think free-to-play does RuneScape justice. At least in old school. I can't really talk for RS3 because I haven't played it in half a decade. And the team, at least around old school, having watched their Q&As and spoken to them at events and things, they're all really awesome people, and that looks like a team that I would love to work with and around. Because they all seem like great people, they're all really passionate about what they do, and it's a game that has such a close-knit community that they literally take the community's feedback. and then implement it. There's none of this, oh, we will do what we want. There is some of that. They make some of their own things, but generally everything gets passed by the community before they implement any changes. And I love that from a game. I think more games should take this community-driven approach, because it makes more sense as far as keeping the community interested and engaged. Now, another studio I like to work for is Epic Games. I'm sure you guys know who Epic Games is. They originally created the Gears of War series before the Coalition took it over. That's another video coming at some point, potentially. They're currently working on games like Paragon and Unreal Tournament, and they're the creators of Unreal Engine 4, which is my game engine of choice as far as developing in. I've worked a little in Unity, I've worked a little in UE4, Construct 2, Game Maker, all sorts. But UE4 is the one I keep coming back to, because of its ease of use. Now, if I were to work on a game with Epic Games, Paragon would probably be the one I want to work on, because it's a game that I'm enjoying a lot at the moment, and it's a game where I can see what's going on, I can see and understand how the mechanics are working, and while I'm playing the game I'm thinking, oh yeah, this could be done with a launch character here or a spawn projectile here, that sort of thing. And on to the last question. GhostBlue27 asks, also, when are you revealing your true identity as Total Biscuit? Now,
ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is UNSC Tactical Simulator?
so yeah, unfortunately, I'm not Total Biscuit. Sorry to disappoint. Thank you very much for all your questions, and if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A video, and again, thank you very much for 100 subscribers, and remember, stay classy.